Hi everyone and welcome to Middle Earth, your source for insight into China cultural industry. Listen to those who are making a living by creating and distributing art or content in the world's second biggest cultural market. I'm your host, Aladdin Faré, founder of À l'Abordage Production. If you need location scouting for your next project in China, film translation service, or to find co-producer, you should reach out. Or on the opposite, if you're looking for European film fundings, I could hook you up with up to 3,000 euro for your indie film. And if you're a Chinese speaker and you don't mind my broken Chinese, don't hesitate to check my Bilibili channel, Aladdin Zhuo Dianying, link in the podcast description. In May 2024, here at the Middle Earth podcast, we made an episode about how AI were used in movie, documentary, and ads. Back then, we could see that AI creation started to take an interesting shape, but those were rather short-sized contents, like only a few minutes. But now, more than a year later, things have quite evolved in that field. Full feature projects that went to film festival are up in the making. Those projects are still pioneers creation, so I don't think this year we'll have a Hollywood level production, but surely before 2030, I'm sure we're gonna see some interesting films. So today, all remote, we have three guests. First, Fan Lixin, hello.
Hi everyone, hi Aladdin, thanks for having me. I'm a documentary filmmaker myself, been in the industry for 25 years, been making Chinese stories that are trying to find platforms overseas. I was very lucky that I had touched on different topics and winning 2 Emmys about 10 years ago. But recently I have worked on a film about mountaineering. Thus lead to my new project, which is going to be a mixture of AIGC content with traditional interviews, a feature documentary about Chinese mountaineering history.
Next to you in the chat box, CHEN Zhuo or Pax, hello.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Aladdin, for having me here today. So this is Pax. I'm the founder and CEO of the company called FizzDragon. So we are a global AIGC creator platform, and we already created the first AIGC movie in the world in a fully decentralized way. So I'm happy to share more about it later.
And last but not least, Tina Yuan, hello.
Hello, hi, this is Tina Yuan. Thank you for Aladdin. It's nice to meet all you here. I have been worked in television stations, state-owned company, and foreign companies like for Paramount. In the past decades, my work actually is content acquisition and distribution, not relative with AIGC. And from last year, I got my new mission in Cannes Film Festival to promote Chinese culture and Chinese new technology. Basic on our company, we have the AIGC creating team, so we want to show a technology to the world in Cannes Film Festival. So we will hold a AI forum in Cannes Film Festival next year, and we created a AIGC 100% AI produced documentaries in platforms like Tencent, iQIYI. Now we already produced 5 TV series.
Okay, well, thank you all for your for introduction. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have thought like at the beginning of 2025 I would have had guests who have done like feature movie all made with AI and like a proper like a project. Just for transparency, I should say that I've worked with Lixin and Tina, but I do think like their projects are really valuable, so that's why we wanted to have them on the podcast. So today we'll mainly discuss about our guest current project, the tech itself, and if AI is really such a silver bullet and the needs for standard. And as usual, we'll finish the podcast conversation with the podcast usual quiz, where one of our guests will win a prize. I want to turn to Lixin. So you started as a rather classical documentary director with handheld camera and a really small crew. But now, like as of this year, like you made a jump and you're now working on an AI documentary. Like the documentary is using AI technology. It's not a documentary about AIGC. I was wondering, if you could talk about this journey, your decision on that.
Right, so my career filmmaking life sort of started from me as a director and a camera person at CCTV, China's national state broadcaster. So my first film was focused on Chinese migrant workers. That film was almost 15 years ago. It was a very classical observational documentary, meaning that me and my team was able to sort of embed ourselves and make ourselves the camera as a fly on the wall to quietly observe the life of this migrant family for 3 years. I guess from that moment on, my documentary filmmaking journey was more about observational film, which means a lot of time, energy, and dedication invested in one film project. And then it was, I think, almost 2 years ago when I was very interested in the VR production, because I thought at the time that if I tackle a topic that is not happening as we speak, but say a historical a topic, historical content, then I would really need a big budget to make a quality feature documentary project. What if this VR technology can help us better tell historical stories? So that's, I guess, where I started to be more interested in technology versus observational real life. And then soon AIGC came. I felt that it really opens up possibilities. It triggers me to think, okay, maybe now it's the time for me to touch on, say, a historical topic for documentaries with a very controlled or limited budget range, because AIGC is really bringing a lot of possibilities. But of course, at the beginning, the quality of AIGC content, the images and videos were still limited. The aesthetics were, not up to comparison to a really high quality production documentary. But I really see the future. I guess at that point, I really see the future of how this technology is growing and the potential that it has. So I kind of embarked on a feature documentary that are using AIGC technology really early on, almost a year ago. So we're kind of in the middle of making it.
I think it's really interesting because the whole link to history is actually a really common theme through all of you three guests. And also when I went to from all other projects that I've seen in France as well, it seems that history is one of the best way of making use of AI UGC. So now I'm turning to Pax. So you come from more like a technical background, but yet you guys decided to make a movie. So could you share a little bit more about this journey of yours?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I was graduated from the electrical engineering background. So during the university time, we do a lot of electronic related projects like the robotics and flight machines. From there, I found myself really like all those creative projects. Then I graduate, I get into the IT industry, but at the meantime that I read a novel about my experiences of studying in Singapore. This book get published, then I just continue writing. Then I start to write a lot of science fiction story. But what is unlucky is that I'm in Singapore, where the movie industry doesn't have so many opportunities. From my opinion and from my perspective, there is a huge problem with the entertainment industry. The reason is because that it doesn't really allows me to express myself freely or express myself in the way that I feel the most appropriate. And I read a lot of story with my life experience in Singapore, but because Singapore is small, it doesn't have. So my story will never have a chance to become some commercial products or to share with the community I read to. Then one day there is the AIGC news about Sora comes is 2024, February, 18th of February. I remember it. It just finished the Chinese New Year and I will stay with my mom in Hunan. Then 10 days after, I have a call with my co-founder. So he is really interested in this culture stuff, and we all agree that in the current situation that a lot of good IPs have a lot of potentials haven't been discovered, and AIGC can empower a lot of people who have something to say.
Okay, so this is why you decided to do this project called Pirate Queen Zheng Yisao. Why did you choose the topic of this particular female pirate who lived almost 2 centuries ago?
Madam Jin Zheng Yisao. Zheng Yi is her husband's name. Sao means she is a wife, so her name isn't there. She is a really good example of a lot of IPs around the world that never have a chance to be discovered, to become a product and to be shared with the world. For example, Zhejiang, there is another opera actors Tang Xianzu. so Yuan Dynasty, from Yuan Dynasty, and he wrote a song called Mudan Yuan, sorry, the Garden of Mudan, and she is as famous as Shakespeare in Yuan Dynasty. But in the end, not so many people remember him after so many years. It may be because that Western is stronger, so it's easier for their artists to be remembered by the rest of the world. It may be due to different reasons, but all those good stories, me as a part of like Chinese people in race, in blood, I'm really interested in, but I don't have so many chances to learn about those history that I'm interested in. The same happens in different countries as well. In Singapore, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Philippines, a lot of them are working for Hollywood rather than focusing their own cultural product. And when they're working on their cultural product, the investor is not confident about it. So now that we are promoting the community movie and hyperlocal movie to allow all the races, all the people able to promote their own culture and share with the rest of the world.
Yeah, and I think that's why you would make a movie such as Pirate Queen, Zhang Yisao, that you guys made, because it's definitely a Hollywood level, epic level movie that could definitely be adapted into, I say Hollywood, but I think you understand what I mean, like in the entertainment world. But that's great that you're pushing such kind of stories. Now I'm moving to Tina. So you come from actually more like the studio world, if I remember. Like you said, you worked at Paramount, and also later like you worked on distribution of movies in China. So you do a lot of things, and also like you guys run like your company Wingsight. You guys run the China Night at the Cannes Festival. So I'm wondering, like on all those things, you also do a little bit of creation content with AI. So I was wondering if you could share the decision of your company to also make such a project, why and how.
Okay, thank you so much, and it's really exciting. I'm really excited to hear about the friends like Chen Zhuo and Lixin, and we are actually doing the same thing. I've been working on the content acquisition and the film acquisition industry, especially for documentaries, and so we have very good relationship with platforms. But now it's very pity that foreign content is not popular anymore. So we know it's a pain point in the market, but we really have the resources, and we know the platforms what they need. Actually, the domestic documentaries is still popular in the market. It's really to make money, especially for the benefit. For the benefit, of course, the foreign content cannot make more benefits anymore, but domestic still exists the market. So we are looking for the new way out. And our company has AIGC talent, especially like my co-founder, Mr. He. He's really good at technical. So we start to explore the technology on AIGC, especially from the documentaries, because we are actually the top companies who distribute especially 4K documentaries in the platforms. So we start to explore how to create historical documentaries, because it's just like Mr. Fan who said it's really a big budget for historical documentaries production, especially to realize some big shots. So what we contributed for the industry is we really create especially two docudrama in the historical industry, and we realized some big scene which never ever realized in the documentary historical, because it's really hard to find the shooting places. So we use AIGC technology to make it real.
This is really fascinating, I have to say. I'm wondering, like, how did that play out? Was it, and I think, Lixin, the same question goes to you, like, is it like the platform iQIYI, Tencent that you're working with, like Tina, do they went to Wingsight and they say, we want to have documentary, but we don't have a budget. Can you guys do it with using AIGC technology, the thing that everyone is talking about? Or did you go to see them and you're like, you know what, guys, we could do a documentary for the fraction of the cost of a real documentary, historical documentary? How did that play out?
Okay, actually, from the first year, they didn't mention anymore because they don't trust our technology and they don't trust the real documentaries will be like. So we spent 1 year to create it. But so the first docudrama, actually we do the revenue share in different platforms. So when it's released, and the result is quite good, the market is quite good, and it's got popular. So they start to come to us, say, okay, we can have exclusive documentaries for what kind of direction. So we start to do the exclusive, like a customized document for them. Like the first one we did 揭秘帝王之死. This is the like how the emperor died. This is the first docudrama we released in the end of last year, and from last week we released new drama called 华夏风云人物.
Oh yes, on iQIYI.
Yeah, it's exclusive iQIYI documentary. So we will have another one. It's an animation. It's named 我有一只霸王龙. It's about dinosaur animation. It's actually for Tencent exclusively in the end of December.
And all those links will obviously be in the podcast description, so if you guys want to check it out. Now, I obviously want to turn to the two other guests, Lixin and Pax. After hearing like Tina experience, like, do you have anything you want to add on?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of questions to ask. I'm kind of limiting myself so that I don't hijack your interview.
Before asking questions, it's more like reflecting on your own experience, because also you had to pitch the fact that you're going to use AIGC technology to create this documentary about mountaineering in the Everest. So I guess maybe some people in front of you, they were raising eyebrows.
Yeah, I think what we are trying to do, a feature documentary, is still somewhat different from the series of documentaries, a series of AIGC docs. I saw the recent film that Tina just mentioned, which was launched, I think, a week ago on iQIYI. It was quite impressive. Me and my core team, we all watched the first episode. It's very impressive. Like I said, I still felt that the featured project that we're trying to tackle is somehow different, because for present day AIGC technology to make high quality video production, in our mind or in our workflow, the consistency of character or the consistency of scenes, the sets, are still somehow the most difficult thing to achieve. Actually, I spoke with Ning Yuqi, the guy at iQIYI, about 5-6 months ago, when he mentioned this project to me, this historical project. He actually asked if I was interested in doing this. I was not very sure at the time with my team, because I was really worried about, in the storytelling that with the current technology, like I was not sure if I were able to keep the character or the set consistency, which it's really the kind of live or die of a good aesthetics in the film. That is what my team is trying to tackle right now. But given all these new platforms, new tools that are coming out by the day or by the weeks, we're constantly switching our workflow. I guess what I'm trying to say is, great project, Tina. Congratulations. And a feature project somehow poses different challenges.
Pax, do you have anything you want to add? Because you guys on your end, like you did a feature film, Pirate Queen Zhang Yisao. Why did you create this film, and how many time did it took? How many people worked on it? Like, I'm wondering, because you claim to be the first AI feature film, a fiction film. So if you could go with us through your creation process.
As you know, the project starting from two people, not from the movie background. Once we confirm, we're starting our searching process at the global scale. Indeed, that we're lucky enough to have a lot of people being attracted by this project. Some of them are from very famous backgrounds in the movie industry, and a lot of them are the very young, passionate directors. Then some of them are in the movie industry. Some of them don't have a chance, so then just jump to another kind of job, but they still have the passion. So, and this process takes really long. People come, join, contribute, and we explore together. What is different is that nowadays when we are watching a lot of AI video, is quite mature. But by that time, it was like huge PPT, PowerPoints, and all those characters not mention about whether this can be consistent, but even cannot move a lot. And we are facing a lot of difficulties, especially for technology obstacles, but people from different backgrounds, not all of them are contributing in the movies perspective. So we all together coming out with a lot of standard processes so that we can move in the project forward. So it's 90 minutes long, but all those aborted videos is as long as like 30 minutes. So we create, then we delete, till one day we found, okay, this can sell. So this is how this happened, and the movie has been launched in April. We receive a lot of feedback in Singapore and in Malaysia, and it's quite exciting. And all those feedback, they have positive, they have negative. We understand this is a learning journey, so along the way that we are keep improving it, and we have more and more distributors want to share this movie to the rest of the world. Where they're sharing the movie, not only for the commercial parts, but also for educational parts. A lot of distributors are collaborating with the government to share with the local people that what AI is about, and then we will discuss with the school and bring the students to the cinema to watch this movie and learn how to use AI to create their own stories. And right now we are also collaborating with a lot of like traditional filmmakers, and some of the project is about to merge with the traditional way of making the film plus AI as a complementary service. And another kind of like collaboration is with the movie projects that there are a lot of studios and a lot of writers, a lot of so-called investors, and always want to kickstart some project. Like recently, we are collaborating with a Hong Kong investor. So he wants to work with a huge IP, like Buddhism, a hero in the Buddhism, in Tibetan Buddhism. But he doesn't have enough funding before, and he never have a chance before. And nowadays, he can invest in movies starting from 5 to 10 minutes trailer. Then he can get the funding after he finish the trailer after 5 to 10 minutes. So we are receiving a lot of requests from this. And on the other side, where are those 130 people after we accomplish the project? A lot of them then start their own studios, and we are collaborating with them for all the creative requests we receive from all over the world. So this is about this project before, between, and after.
Great. That's a great resources.
Thank you.
When I was at the Busan Film Festival this year in September 2025, like there were a couple of pitches where the directors, they clearly used AI video in order to kind of shake the story. It was not just PowerPoint, but they were kind of showing some key scenes. It was not the most amazing things I could see, but you could really see the effort of like giving a vibe and showing off like how the movie would be. But now this is like Pax, what you mentioned, this is a perfect transition, because now we're entering the next part of the show, more on the technical aspect of things. Are there currently limitation on what the AI can do, or is just like tokens are the limits? Like as long as you have like enough money, you can do whatever you want with AI, or even that is not enough. But even at the end of the day, because all of you guys keep mentioning that, it's like low budget, people don't have enough money, so AI becomes this new things to make epic story with low budget. But at the end of the day, low budget is low budget. So Lixin, I think you could start, because you're right now in the process of creating this feature film and you're like changing your workflow every now and then.
I think AIGC is really giving a very powerful tool for creators who got a story to tell, which they may not be able to before. I guess the reason why me or our guests are tackling on historical stories or topics, mainly because traditionally to make a high quality historical documentary costs a lot of money. And then with AIGC, we were able to, I would say, dramatically reduce the cost, or at least to control the cost in a more rational limit. But still, I think the technology is at its infant stage, although it's really changing and advancing very quickly. but still there are many technical problems or shortcomings that we are facing almost every day in any given platform or tools. It gets cheaper, but still to be able to find the person or the users who can adapt and really use this new technology is still very costly. And the users needs to have the traditional filmmaking sense or knowledge, but they also need to have a mastery of AIGC technology. So it's kind of difficult to find a suitable person to work with low cost. So overall, I would say, yeah, it's becoming more efficient. It's lower cost, but there's still a lot of things that we need to improve on this.
When by user you meant the people creating the movie, not like the usual user watching a film.
I think the hardest thing actually is the ability of storytelling. Actually, so AI technology is not that good, but is improving. Is working on it's gonna be changed better and better. But the most thing is we have to collaborate with the professional producer or director and the person who can do the storytelling. This is the most important, especially for the festival production. Just like you said, you think like Busan Film Festival, the production they showcased is not that maybe impressive on technology, but it's still quite interesting. So I think it's for AI still same. Maybe AI it can be a tool, like it can replace the part of a VFX. But if you are a director and if you are a script writer, and you can use AI to create a low budget story. But now, currently, audience don't have the high end expectation for the story. But in the future, they have to. I think, of course, the audience will focusing on the story itself. So I think we would better, cooperate with the professional director or film writer in the future to create a real storytelling production.
What's interesting is that because I'm from the innovative side, I'm the outsider of this industry, so my experience is a little bit different, where we're collaborating with the traditional filmmakers, all those professionals, is that also sharing with Mr. Fan about it. So usually for our AIGC movie project, there are a collaborative method is the best, rather than you find one perfect person will be able to do anything. So in one project team, there are 3 key elements. The first element is about the management, project management, and production management. The second part is the creative part. So the creative part, we have the traditional script writers, traditional directors, or AIGC director. And the third part is the engineering part, is the production team. So usually when we're doing the project, we don't let the creative team to work on the engineering side, meaning if you are good at the creative part, you work on the script, you work on the storyboarding, you work on the editing, but you don't necessarily need to do the real engineering work for AIGC production. Then we found it's really, really effective. And what's interesting is that because AI always have some illusions, but those illusions means that it doesn't fully obey the director's idea, but it also brings in some new innovative ideas that may make the story better. So the director from the creative part need to keep adjusting the storyboarding so that the story can be told, and together with the AI, rather than ask the AI to 100% follow the storyboard. This is our experience to moving the things forward, and people feel the final result is quite acceptable.
I have a really interesting follow-up question. As Pact said that in her production, that the creative side is more kind of segregated or separated from the AIGC production side or the technical side. So I was wondering if Tina, if the production that you made with iQIYI, the historical series that you made with iQIYI and the big broadcast, because I saw them, the quality is really good. And I see this sort of consistency between the creative and the AIGC content. So I wonder how you manage your creative team.
The thing is, actually, we have a director in our team, like a full-time director in our team. The director control the whole story, actually. So AIGC staff only focusing on technology improvement. So we separate together. So that's why I said the director is really important. It's not meaning we cannot make an independent film by ourselves without a professional director or professional writer. It's meaning it's more efficient because it's their professional industry. They know how to story.
Yeah, I guess my question, if I boil it down to a very simple question, if I am a traditional documentary director and I want to direct one of your AIGC series, do I need to learn AI? Or I don't have to?
I think you don't have to. You just control the script is the most important.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, AIGC can make it efficient, like to reduce the steps how traditional documentaries made procedure. So that's why maybe just like an animation is maybe 6 steps, but now for AIGC is only 3 steps. But script writer is still important, and the director is important. So because they need to summarize all the materials.
That's an interesting question that you have, Lixin, because actually, as I'm in Paris right now, I went to this AI forum, another one, like where we had actually AI documentary that is going to be called like the Iron Mask. If you guys have seen the Disney movie with DiCaprio, that's kind of the same story of Louis XIV and so on. And so they made again another historical documentary using AI. And from what I understood, the director was also someone who's been in the business for a really long time, like someone who understands storytelling and directing. And the producer, they didn't hire like some techie AI engineer. They hired someone who's a storyteller and then who was like managing and directing the creative team. Yeah, I think AI definitely is just like another tool now with maybe lower budget. But now we keep saying like I wouldn't say praising AI, but at least everyone seems to see that it's pretty interesting and valuable and it brings a lot of good things. But I'm wondering, like, do you, and the question goes for the three of you, like, are there like one key roadblock, like one thing that you keep stumbling on when you are using AI tools and AI production that you wish it wouldn't be like this anymore?
Okay, so actually for me, I will not think about it from the director or producer perspective, because I'm an entrepreneur. So I sometimes say one hand we are working with the traditional filmmakers, and on the other hand we are really working with some new creators that starting to pick up the tools and create whatever they want. They may be professional, they may be not, but they're happy to explore. So while we are working with all those people from different backgrounds, I think there is one part of the in the AIGC is not about the technology part, because I'm from technology background. I always believe it's gonna improve really fast. But what's more important is the first part is the copyright issues. It's really important because while we're working together as a platform, there are many creators come to us, help them to resolve some of the problems they're facing. For example, somebody copy their ideas, or somebody use their ideas to fund the funding, something like this. This happens every day, and it's gonna stop a lot of projects ongoing. And all those projects are babies of all those creators.
Now, currently, the really problem, the big problem actually is the team. It's production team. We have a lot of customized requirements or demand, but we don't have that much good talent or staff fixed on the project. So we need really production team. So that is the big problem for us.
Tell me about it. That's really the big problem. That's why I was very excited when hearing Pact saying that you have formed a network of creative talents around the world. So I think that would be very, very valuable for the future AIGC productions, because this is where really the traditional filmmaking meets the AIGC world, and there's not a lot of suitable users or creative talents that are experienced enough in both worlds. We also worked with a Polish, like he's a really good DP in real world. It's Polish, since I was making a mountaineering AIGC film. So I thought, okay, I would hire someone who actually climbed K2, the second highest mountain in the world, and skied down and filmed. So he's like a really top-notch DP. And I tried to employ him for the AIGC creative part. Well, he's good, but it takes really long time for both me and him to keep in the same pace. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Tina. Talent is really the problem for now.
This is really interesting that at the end of the day, the biggest problem about AI are either the people making the AI, like it's always the human, or the people stealing the content. So it's quite funny. But one other problem of using AI is actually the public reaction. So I hope, Pax, that you're okay with that question. Just, I couldn't see your film, unfortunately, because you just ran it in like a few places in film festivals and private or public screening, but in Singapore. But there was one thing I could see, and that was the film critics on Letterboxd. So for those who don't know, Letterboxd is the now social media regarding movies. And yeah, you have like a lot of people sharing their opinion. It's a little bit like Douban, let's put it this way. And the critic about your film, Pirate Queen, Zhang Yisao, unfortunately were not so positive. Like I would say that most of the people were either, I could sense like some people were criticizing the movie just for its quality itself, but others were also lashing out at the idea of just doing AI movie, what is this, blah blah blah. If I remember, you went to Italy to screen your movie in a film festival, so I was wondering if you could talk about like, yeah, the public reaction, or was your interaction with the people after when they saw the movie, things like that.
I think it's very good to raise this point. As I mentioned again, first of all, this movie is like an experimental project, a large-scale experimental project. From the day one, we are not sure whether we're gonna finish it or not, and it stopped for many times, but we finish it, and it's quite a magic already, and we receive a lot of responses rather than suggestions saying that we are not good enough, we better to improve, or like encouragement saying that we are so brave to do such a thing. But every feedback is actually for me a really, really good response. At least there is the feedback. I'm an entrepreneur, so we are doing something innovate. So when there is a first version of the product, no matter it's the Apple phone or other stuff, there are gonna be a lot of critics. It doesn't matter. It's just the first step. More importantly is to find people who loves you and who support you. So you need to find your first 1,000 fans. So right now around the world, we already have more than 1,000 artists, creators from different backgrounds that are collaborating with us. More importantly is that we're providing the value to the world. We're providing the job opportunities. We're providing the services to some of the projects that may not happen, but because of us, they can kickstart. And we're providing the opportunities for some of the IPs, for some of the publishers, for some of the bestseller books, for them to have the opportunity to become a movie product to share with the rest of the world. And behind it is that we let the human imagination flows more freely. Last week we are still improving on this, and this is very sexy about AIGC. You can always modify it, because I heard that for movie it's a story about regret. You will never be satisfied with the result, but with AIGC movie you can keep improving on it.
I'm not so sure the actors that are not going to be shot in movies because of AIGC will see this way, but maybe they can become prompters, and that they can at least create the story themselves. And now to extend the scope about this question of the ethics of using AI to create stories. So we do know that also AI use a lot of energy. We keep hearing about all those data centers being built. Also there is all the question of all the stolen content and stolen IP that have been just put into the the algorithm, and so that means that many people did not get to be paid for their work. And also there is the question of, you know, like how it will be harder now to see the differences between what's real and what's AI generated. So I was, you know, going to all the panel, like I was wondering, how do you guys see those like ethical issues, and if you have like some guidelines?
Yeah, that's really the hard part.
Yeah, we do ask sometimes tough questions on the middle of podcast, you know.
Right. I think certainly that we, as creators, we really need to be respectful for the copyrights and for the original ideas, original creations. Somehow the big models, the language models and the video models or the image models are built on all this data that mankind ever had. So I guess as an individual creator using those platforms or AI tools, it's hard for an individual to trace back and question the legitimacy of the building of those models. But we do need to kind of be more cautious on the using of it. So take ourselves, for example. Since we're making this historical documentary film, so we still go out to interview all the characters who are still alive, capturing their stories on camera, sign releases with them, so in a way to respect their copyrights. And also we would compensate for their stories, for taking their stories, so that we can kind of using the new tool to create this story. So for me, yeah, it's really a tough question to answer. I guess there's no black and white in whether or not we should use AIGC. I mean, that's generally the future. So for me personally, I would rather jump on the train earlier than later. But I guess with certain level of consciousness on respecting the copyrights.
To my own take, because I do know this is a tough question, but I think like if you do something in your home and you don't like go travel around the planet, maybe you also kind of reduce your carbon footprint. And I think those questions sometimes are a little bit, too complicated for one individual to answer. I mean, it was like the Coca-Cola and so on, all those big plastic companies that push the consumer to recycle, whereas at the end of the day, like it should be the government to make a informed decision and tell the company what they can and cannot do. Now my last question would be for Tina. So you run China Night at the Cannes Festival. So quickly, China Night is like a moment where all the professional gather during the film festival. So you have like China Night, the Philippine Night, the American Night, and so on. But so you are working with the Cannes Festival market closely, and we all know that Cannes is definitely the mecca of movie filmmaking and so on. And at the same time, you are creating those documentary using AIGC. So I was wondering, how does you think the festival and the filmmaking world, like, and the global film community, like, how do they see this kind of AI technology?
For festival market, it's for a competition. I don't think they like AI fiction films, but it's the trend they have to accept. I already heard about there is a film AI 100% made. Will participate. We want to maybe co-host a AI forum to talk about the trend for the industry, how it can encourage people use AI to be a tools. And I don't think AI production can replace the real person production. It can coexist together.
All right, so thank you for sharing all of this, like your experience, your project, and all the roadblocks that you guys have went through. So now to end the conversation, my favorite part of the show, the quiz, where we'll see who is the most knowledgeable among our guests.
I'll be open up my DeepSeek now.
No, well.
You need to record. You can't stop the recording, so cannot open DeepSeek because I tried just now.
Oh my god, you guys. The rules are simple. I will ask a few questions. If you know the answer, you first buzz in with your name. Each correct answer will give you a point, and the person with the most points will win the quiz. And the winner of the quiz will receive the latest issue of the World of Chinese magazine. Well, yeah, you can use DeepSeek, but I think the time that you write the questions, the people who knows the answer will be faster than you. Question number 1. Let's go back in history and stay on the side of entertainment and gaming. Which company provided the first computer that was able to beat Garry Kasparov, who was back then the world chess champion?
Fan Lixin,
Yes, Lixin?
IBM.
Yes, it was IBM, that with Deep Blue, if I recall,
Blue.
that was the name
That's
of
right.
the machine that beat Garry Kasparov, was like world chess champion. Okay, so 1 point for Lixin. Question number 2. Recently, there is a new film festival called AI Film Award, which has $1 million grand prize. Can you tell me in which country this will happen? Or the city?
Tina, France.
No, it's not France.
Not France.
Lixin, I think it's in Italy.
Neither. It is not a European country.
Pax, Japan.
Oh, okay, all right. It is in the United Arab Emirates in Dubai.
Oh, okay.
In Dubai. 我想到杜海。
Yeah, they have an AI Film Award. Okay, I'm sorry, 0 point for this one.
We gotta send our project there.
Question number 3. Let's play Guess the Number. So, follow me. One man managed to cheat the system on Spotify. So that man created fake bands, like fake AI bands, and at the same time he created fake fans in order to boost those fake bands downloads. So you had a lot of bots listening to those fake AI bands. So those fake bands, they were streaming up to 600,000 songs per day. It was so big that Spotify caught him, and now the man is charged in the US, like the federal government is charging him. Can you tell me how much money he could have gotten out of those unlawful royalties? So each of you will say a number, and the closest to it will win the point.
It's a lot. I actually read that news. I think it's in the tens of millions.
Okay, so 10 million. Okay, Pax, how much?
150 million.
Tina?
I have no idea. I'm not good at mathematics. Okay, close. I think. How about 100 million?
That's a lot of money.
So the answer is 10 million USD. So Lixin was the closest to it. So he gets another point, and that's 2 points. So Lixin wins the quiz. Congratulations to documentary filmmaking team.
Which do follows the tech news.
On that note, we'll wrap up this show. So thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time to be with us and explain like how are your AIGC creative journeys going on. Glad to have you until the end, dear listener. I guess you like that show, and if you do, you can help the Middle Earth podcast to grow by recommending us to your friends. Let me remind you that Middle Earth is part of TWOC, the World of Chinese Podcast Network. If you want to know more behind the headlines, go to theworldofchinese.com and order your latest copy. Also, if you need a location scouting for our next project in China, film translation service, or to find a co-producer, you should reach out. Or on the opposite, if you're looking for European film fundings, I could help you get up to 300,000 euro for your indie film. And if you're a Chinese speaker and you don't mind my broken Chinese, don't hesitate to check my Bilibili channel, Aladin Shodiani, link in the podcast description. Today's episode was produced and edited by Aladin Faré.
Music by Sean Calvo.
A massive thanks to Deng Shangtong for helping me finding some of the guests, and distributed by the World of Chinese Podcast Network. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.